Hey YouTube, thanks for stopping by the channel and thanks for clicking play. Today I've got a great video for you. I have been working for about 3 or 4 months now to try to catch up with this guy here local to me. His name is Maurice, goes by Reese. He has the amazing Shelby GT350 behind me that we're going to get into today. We're going to do a review. We're going to drive around. I'm going to get some impressions. He's not been in a Z06 yet, so again, he's going to get to experience my car today. It's actually fun for me when I'm not home, or I'm home and I'm not traveling, that I can get in my car and just drive it and have a good time, especially to hang out with a car dude like Maurice and then get to experience this car. Now, I did do a review on John's GT350, but his is mostly stock. I'm going to tell you right now that this car is going to be a completely different animal. There are so many mods to this car. We're going to go over it, we're going to drive, and we're going to experience what you can take a GT350 from, which is already an amazing starting place, and take it to this next level, guys. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Help us keep growing this channel. Help us keep bringing you good content like this. Oh yeah, I heard the valves open there. Ready? Yes, sir. Oh my God. I love the way my car sounds, Maurice, but I'm telling you right now, that's how every Mustang should sound. God, it's such a difference.
Yeah. So it's what's done to the car.
Yes, sir. What's done?
So suspension. It actually has GT500, GT350R Magna Ride shots and springs.
Oh, you swapped over to the R?
Swapped it over.
Nice.
Yeah, so I swapped everything over to the R. Has Steeder dual rate springs on it. BMR kit in the back. Basically the only things left on suspension that are stock are 2 parts in the front.
Okay.
But the whole suspension is either BMR or Steeder.
Can't go wrong with either.
Or, you know, the GT500
right.
or GT350R spec. Exhaust is LTH, which is a company out in South Carolina. LTH exhaust, long tube headers with ECOF, high flow caps.
Okay.
Boiler attack exhaust. It has ported intake manifold, now stock intake. It used to have PMAS on it.
And who did the porting on the manifold? Do you remember?
AFS out in Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah, AFS out in Phoenix. I've taken a bunch of weight out of it. So I have rear seat delete, have a lightweight battery. I had an anti-gravity battery in it, but it was acting funny.
Yeah.
So I wound up taking that out, but I have my battery's like 15 pounds. Solar Performance throttle body.
There you go.
It's tuned, but I don't have a flex tune on it yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna reach out to Wengerd Performance and ask them to do a flex tune for me so I can run
E85.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what, too. This thing on E, bro, you're gonna pick up 30 horse.
Yeah.
Just changing fuel, you'll pick up 30 horse.
Yeah. But
and you said you had this without cats at one time.
yes, I did have it without cats.
I can't even imagine how loud that joker was.
Wide open throttle. It was NASCAR like. I would pass people and, you know, they would look at me like, okay. And I remember one time I was coming home before we moved out to Lilburn. I was coming down the street, and this is even before I had the long tubes on it. And I pull up, and my wife looks at me. She said, "That doesn't make any damn sense." She could literally hear me like
coming a mile down the road.
Yeah,
I get that a lot too. I get that a lot.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So looking at the inside of Reese's GT350 here, man. Like first, okay, blue stripes on the car, blue harness here with the Recaros, the GT350 stitching, the blue stitching on his steering wheel, carbon fiber on the steering wheel, and you saw he has the gauge readouts. It has the RPMs and everything on that. And then one of the cool things that, look here, guys, on the start button, look. It's like the Lambo cover for the start button. I actually really love that. These Alcantara seats in these cars, dude, like John's was amazing, but getting to feel them again, and again, like this cool little sill plaque here, guys. I mean, if I go back into the Mustang game, it's not going to be a GT500. It'll be a GT350 or a GT350. Or there's no way I would go to the 500 over this, and then like the chassis number here. Look at it, but these seats, man. He did you guys got to see this. How cool is that rear seat delete? That is absolutely amazing. And guys, like this car is no joke. No joke, man. It is with the gearing, the mods, the lightweight. I mean, this car is no joke. Like anybody, like if you ever see this car, you better be pulling some serious horsepower.
Let's pull the GT350 off. You see, I got that from Solar Performance.
Oh man, I love the sill plates.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. All right,
You guys, I don't like stuff on the outside of my car, but I love stickers on the inside.
I love it, man. And that the cover, the heads.
Yeah,
that's
these are the GT500
yeah.
Covers.
Yeah, that's
I painted
awesome.
them myself.
That's awesome, man. You know, I didn't on my on mine. I painted mine here. I taped all this off and painted it the blue like the Boss, but left this black.
Okay.
And on mine instead of the Boss. But yeah, man, this
I actually had them off, and I like the way it looked bare. But then I had them in the trunk. I just popped them on. You know.
I like the way they look bare too. But I mean, that's a good contrast with the blue.
Yeah.
I really like the way that came out. And I love that you have stickers inside. That's awesome, dude. God, guys, this is where I cannot wait to get my Mach 1 done. But look at this, man. God, Lord have mercy. These cars are amazing. And this is flat plane crank. Just two different versions of it. I was kind of hoping that, you know, when they were going to do the ZR1, they weren't going to, you know, leave it the same basic architecture, that they would go to a cross plane, so that way it would keep this a little bit more special.
Yeah.
But still, it's a different motor. It'll be awesome. But you know, this though, I was just saying, man, if I get back into the Mustang game, it's definitely a 350, man. Like, we'll see how my Mach 1 comes out, because it should run like a scalded dog. I'm gonna tell you what I felt first and foremost. Those 410s.
Mm-hmm.
That is not stock gearing at all.
Yeah. And that's the thing, it's not a, you know, Ford had a 409, and I was going to put a 409, but I saw when Yukon had a 411.
Right.
I said, you know what, I'll just drop a 411 in.
This is way faster than John's GT350.
You know, two of the best mods I put on this car were the gears and the carbon fiber drive shaft, because it spins.
It spins. I'm going to tell you right now, so many years ago, I've been working with Tim Matherly here in Statham. He's a professional racer, builds crazy fast cars, whatever. He told me years ago, don't fear the gear.
Yeah.
And with these cars that whine like this, same with my Mach. So my Mach got 430s in it because we're going to run it to $9,000.
Gotcha.
But don't fear the gear.
No.
It makes it way quicker. Like I said, that was the first thing I felt. The difference between John's car and your car was that the gearing in the back.
There was a gentleman, there's a gentleman that lives in Florida, and he was one of the first ones to do a gear swap. And I started to read up on it, and he had done a 409, a 411, a 430, and a 456. And he had just bought pumpkins and was switching around.
Right.
And I think he finally settled on a 411, but now he has a blow on his car. But when he did it, I was like, you know what? I'll try it.
Yeah. Well,
I have a 409, a 410s, I'm sorry. I still have my 2001 GT that Eric worked on years ago.
Yeah.
And I have a 410 in that car.
I love the gear. I will never ever have a long gear on the car that I'm going to be running around or whatever else. And this thing sounds insane, dude.
And the crazy thing is, when I moved to Lilburn, I got excited. I'm like, I'm close to Commerce, and they shut it down.
They shut it down. I know, dude. We used to go there all the time, man.
And I had opportunities to take this car on the track, but and I used to take my Magnum and Mustang all the time to quarter mile, but I didn't have a desire to actually run this down to quarter mile because that's not what it's built for.
It's still fun though.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and too, like, we're going to be doing some track days for the Twisties.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure you're getting invites.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a couple of dudes that I've been meeting, just doing this and filming and whatever, that are like, yeah, man, I just don't get a chance to go to the track. And when we put it together, basically, we use the economy of scale. We all throw in on it.
Yeah.
So it's just cheaper for everybody.
Yeah. And
then we get basically our own private track days, how we kind of run that.
So the other thing is, I'm going to switch these tires at some point, because we were talking about rotating mass. Hoosier has a new track tire out.
Yeah.
They only weigh like 24 to 26 530s in the front are 24 pounds. The rears are 27. Had the Continental Sport Contact 06s on here before.
Right.
They were 27 and 29.
Yeah, I have the Continentals on my Challenger.
On this now, I have the Yokohama van, and they're sticky.
I was gonna say, like, they actually hold the power. That's the thing, man.
The thing about it's a little cold out, so if I nail it, it's gonna, it's not gonna stick like yours.
Right.
You know.
Well, those Pilot Sports are heavy too. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait for somebody to come out with a non-run flat version of a sticky tire for the Z06.
Yeah.
Because those run flats weigh way too much more.
I know the PS5s that are upgrading now from the PS4s.
Yeah.
That's struggling for a track.
Oh yeah, but actually, and I'm surprised at how you don't get any wheel hop when you're spinning, and it's a gradual release of the traction. It's not like my Challenger tries to kill me every time I do that.
Yeah.
Like literally tries to kill me.
And also, you know how it is when you get used to your car, you learn how to modulate.
Exactly.
Because I'm not trying to kill me nor you. Blower Mustang, and I was closer than he expected.
Oh, dude,
from a roll, he was surprised.
I'm gonna tell you right now, like, I wish it wasn't Saturday afternoon and a little bit busier so we could run them a little bit. But I bet you'll be surprised at how well you'll hang with my car.
Don't know as quick as your car felt.
Well, it's quick. It is. It's a different game, but that's the thing, man. Like, this car, like, and I've seen some like crazy high horsepower blower cars, right? Especially some of these GT350s, you know what I mean? But I would never put a blower on this car. If I was gonna blow it, I'd just get a 5.0. Yeah. And that's what I would do, and put a blower on it and go for it. Not this car.
Yeah.
Not
you can make anything fast.
Oh yeah. Shelby GT350, man.
You know, the crazy thing is, it's hard for me now to have a point of reference driving this car versus when I had a stock 373 and whatnot. Like, it feels.
So these were 373 stock. Okay, so I mean, at least Ford geared them pretty good. But yeah, I mean,
to me, the 411 was a nice compromise. I could have went to a 430, and people like, oh, you'll only be able to do 150 miles per hour. When am I going to be able to do 150 miles per hour?
Right, exactly, and that's what I said with my Mach 1 that we built, that we put the 430s in. Same thing. Yeah. Right, I'm like, it's a Twisties car now, and then when it was a quarter mile car, I mean, in I wasn't going to trap 150 mile an hour. Yeah. Like, I'm going to trap 130s. Yeah. You know, I don't need to go 150. Yeah. So
for me, I thought that, you know, it feels to me like the 411 is a perfect gear.
I agree with you 100%. 411s, 430s, something around there, but I had 410s in my 98 that I had a 5.4 swap in and stuff. To me, I'm with you. 410's a great one, especially with the RPM this thing pulls. Yeah. Like, good Lord, this thing pulls, man.
And then now going to like track, similar to yours, it stiffens it up. So now you get the bounciness where it's just with the GT350R 500 Magna Ride setup. Yeah. Springs and struts and the Steeda dual rates. This thing handles.
Oh, I bet.
I love the way this thing handles.
We gotta get you to our track day, man.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna be a blast.
Dana keeps telling me, you know, to go to a track, but I know Atlanta Motorsports Park has a sound.
They do have a sound thing. That's why
I couldn't.
Well, that's like saying I can't go because Brandon can't go. Yeah. Like, Brandon will never be on that. So, but there's a couple of places we're gonna be renting for it, and then we're gonna be renting an airstrip too. Okay. So, like, do like a half, rolling.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely give you an invite for sure. You can come. So.
Oh yeah.
But man, this thing is amazing.
But you notice now how it's
stiffer. Yeah. Well, I was actually going to comment earlier that how compliant the ride was for how stiff it was, but that was in the regular setting.
Yes.
That was the
sport set. Yeah, that was sport. This now is track.
Okay. Yeah, that's the difference in my car too. Like, track is amazing, but you certainly wouldn't want to drive every day in track, because it does get really stiff in my car, like really stiff.
So in John's car, the previous GT3,
yeah.
So you had the toggle switches. Yeah. Mine's in early 2016, so I have to go through the steering wheel to do that.
Oh, okay. Now, did anybody hit the aftermarket with that yet? Where they're gonna do one where you can switch it?
I'd rather this.
You like it that?
I don't know. I've gotten used to it. I have a friend of mine that worked for Ford dealership, and he has an R, a 2016 R.
Okay.
His is built after mine, and he has the toggles.
He has the toggles.
So he gets in my car one day, and again, he's a Ford tech,
Right?
master tech. So because he says, Reese, where do you turn your cones on? So,
oh, that's awesome. God, this thing sounds so good, dude. I can't imagine this without cats. I can't even imagine, like you said, NASCAR loud. Because Brandon's car is like F1 loud.
yeah.
And like, they're different sounds, but just even when we revved it, when we first got here, like, holy crap, I can't even imagine this thing without cats.
Mainly the reason I did it, and I mean, it is what it is. But the smell would get to me.
Yeah.
I'd drive home.
You smell like exhaust.
Yeah, I put my car in the garage. I had to leave my garage open for 30 minutes.
Yep.
To let the smell waft out of it. And then when my wife and I would drive in the car, have the windows down, and sometimes depending on how the wind blows, so.
Yep. I'm with you on that 100%. That's why I didn't want to go cat deletes on my Z, because Brandon has the same smell issue.
I just,
All right, so you got my impression of this versus John's car. This was your first experience in a C8 Z06, so your impressions from a car.
Amazing car. I've never been in a car this fast without a power adder. And the way you drove it, getting into it, I have friends that have it, they probably wouldn't, really dig into it like you.
Yeah, we drive them.
But just feeling it.
Yeah.
For it to be a flat plane crank and not be supposedly be a torquey motor, how it pulls.
Right.
It's a continuous pull.
That's the thing. It doesn't make a lot of torque. Like, it really doesn't. But, man, you don't know. And the even cherry does help with that, because most of the power gains are in the mid-range. But still, this is way torqueier than it actually looks on paper.
426 torque versus 460 torque. But the way this pulls and continues to pull is just amazing.
Yeah,
so
that's what blew me away.
Yeah, but this car is next level.
Thank you, sir.
Again, I got a chance to drive a GT3 back in 2017. The way that handled and the way that pulled to be a 6-cylinder was amazing. But a lot of that has to do with the weight.
The weight, that's right.
And of course how that engine's set up. But this is something else. And if you ever get a chance to buy one of these, if you're in the market to buy one, or you get a chance to drive in one, and really drive it, because you have to drive these two cars in order to really experience it.
That's right.
That's when you'll appreciate it. I had planned on getting a C7, Z06 or Grand Sport. And I talked to my son, oldest son, who's a car fanatic too. So at that time he was working up in Alpharetta. So I told him, he said, Dad, why don't you get a Hellcat? And I said, Miles, I had a Magnum. I don't want another Dodge. I want to go ahead and try something different. And I told him, I gave him a list of cars, and the GT350 was at the bottom, because I told some friends, I said, when GT350 first came out, I said, I kind of dig that car.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So GT350 was like 3rd or 4th on the list. And then when I told him about the C7, he says, Dad, get the GT350. And I said, why do you say that, Miles? He says, because you never see them.
That's right.
You never see them.
That's right.
So that's what, in turn, made me look at this one. And I just happened to, when we were buying a car for our youngest son, we went looking for a Mustang, a particular model. He wanted a 2010.
Okay.
And Angela Krause Ford in Alpharetta had this one that I had looked at the week before. And I hadn't planned on buying a car. I was out of the market. I'm like, I'm not going to buy a car until next year, for my 50th birthday. When we were on our way to go look at the car for him, I was in the back of the car taking a nap. My wife was driving. And I popped up and I said, oh-ish. And she says, what's wrong? I said, that 350 that I was looking at is at this Ford dealership. And I said, if they have this car, we may wind up buying 2 cars today.
We're going home with it. And it came home with it.
We get to the dealership. He looks at his car. I go, and I said, hey, you guys still have that 350 on the floor? He says, yeah. We go in, same, oldest son. I go in with him. I look at it. I said, what do you think, Miles? He says, yeah, Dad, I like it. I said, start the paperwork. And I bought it. Never drove it. Anything like that. Didn't even sit in it.
So I had a 09 GT500.
Okay.
When the first was 7 to 9. Right?
Yes.
All right. And I got it up here at Loganville Ford, but it's the same thing. It had been sitting there. My son, he was teeny tiny at the time. Teeny tiny. And we would go in and I'd look at it and he would sit there and he'd be like, oh man, Dad, this is so cool. This is so cool. This is cool. I was like, look, it's been sitting here a minute. Like we deal business, I do business with them all the time, and I was like, it's been sitting here a minute. Let's talk. We wanted the same thing. I hadn't even drove it. I had nothing. I bought it and then took it out, and it was funny because then I'm like, hey, it's kind of slow. And then they're like, no, wait till 500 miles when the computer unlocks. And I was like, so, but I was like, this kind of slow, man.
I had not sat in it. I had done my research on it, and I was like, this is it.
And
gorgeous. The thing about it is that it's just like driving this car. It's an emotional experience.
It is, and that was, dude, I'm telling you that John's GT350 that was the first one I've ever been in. I've heard him go by, I've seen him at the track, whatever, but I've never been in one. And the experience, like if I was gonna buy another Mustang, 2020 GT500 up, nope. Like, it's a great car. You can make them really fast, but the experience in this car is way better than that. I mean, and your car, like, I mean, bro, like that dark blue with this black.
Yeah, people kept asking me. And they made less than 100 of these in 2016 because this is a 2016.
Okay.
They only made 98 of these in this color combination.
It's gorgeous.
Black with the blue stripe.
It's good, and you know the Shelby stripes themselves are like, you know, they're part of the package, right? Like,
too.
And they are. Right? I was just gonna say that, right?
I had to replace the front end on this, and just the striping.
Yeah.
Here, and here was $900.
I was just gonna say that when I had to replace the stripes on mine before I sold it, I was like, man, are you kidding me? I can have them painted on for that. But that is this like the normal, like that Ford Performance blue?
Yes.
God, see, that looks so good with that black, man. Gosh. I mean, I love blue cars, blue vehicles. This is the first black and red combination that I've had, but this combination, like, it makes me think blue would look really good on mine too. And then these wheels.
Yeah, Ford's Club.
Okay.
So they're 21 inches a piece.
Okay.
All the way around. R-Spec, 11 in the front, 11 and a half in the back. I run a 305/30 in the front and 325/30.
So you got a square setup.
Well, no, it's 305/30 in the front, 325.
Oh, 325. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like the meats in the back.
Me too, especially on a Mustang. It's gotta have. And I'm telling you right now, what I love about the way your car sits right now is, guys, I don't know if you can see this, that little bit of tire that comes out just gives it that. My 03 Mach 1 has that. It's like that little bit of tire that comes out. Just, I love that. And that's why when I got the Forge Light wheels on mine, I got the spec. I didn't have to run spacers. They brought the offset the whole way out.
And that's the thing. They ran a, when I reached out to them, they gave me, great guys at Forge Club.
God, your car is beautiful, Maurice.
The offsets just work.
Oh, and guys, look, that is so sexy. All right, man.
Something that was, I love the way it feels. I love to be able to take the corner.
It's the experience, man. And I'll take, like you said, taking the corner, right? Like, this car is unlike any Mustang that came before it. Even like the Bullets and stuff, like the earlier versions. Ford had not made a car that was a track monster. And this was the one they were like, okay.
The closest thing was the Boss 302.
Which, again, for a solid axle car and the time in 2012, like, I mean, that car was amazing. But this was like Big Brother to the Boss.
So it has a Varus Engineering rear diffuser on it.
I saw that.
The one thing I didn't say that it has a 411 gear in it. Oh, carbon fiber drive shaft too. So
this car's gonna be fast, man. I can't wait to get in it.
Everything that I got on this car, I got a great deal on it. When I got the headers at the time, now you can't buy this header system that I got on for less than $2,200. I got it for like $16.
Wow.
The Bull Tack exhaust, I got it for like $17 from Lethal Performance. Now you can't get it for less than like $2,000. The carbon fiber drive shaft I got shipped to my house for $980.
No, you're lying.
You can't buy it.
$900 shipped to your house.
Shipped to my house.
No, man, that's crazy.
Everything that I have on it, I got great deals on.
That's crazy.
Shout out to Speed Foundry and I forget what they've moved from Roswell, but they do all the work on my car now.
Speed Foundry. I'll put their links in the bottom and stuff. So
great bunch of guys. Dana Palmer is a great guy. He has a GT350 that he actually tracks.
Okay.
I believe he's an instructor as well.
Nice.
So I take it to them, and I'm fully confident.
I love that.
At some point, what I am going to do is probably go through this motor and do some stuff to it. I'd go back and forth about putting a supercharger on it, but again, I'm quirky. I like the naturally aspirated.
So my Mach 1, we did a Boss 302 swap. I bought all the wrecked Boss 302, put the Boss 302 motor, 6-speed, all that in it. Same thing. I thought, man, maybe I'll put a blower on it. Well, nope. We just rebuilding it right now. I just want more compression, milled the heads, and I want to keep it NA.
Yeah.
I'm like you, man. I love this experience of an NA motor that'll wind to 8,200 RPM.
Spin it up.
Yeah, it's a blast, man.
So more than likely, I'll go through, you know, get the heads done. You know, swapping manly pistons. I would have loved Ford to have put the illuminator motor in this.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the Voodoo, don't get me wrong. That illuminator was 575 and like 450. A 470 torque.
Well, and that's basically the spec because when we first bought that Boss motor, I ran it for a while, and then we rebuilt it basically to illuminator specs. And now what we just got some custom pistons just to up the compression a little bit, but redid valve train, like we're gonna spin it to $9 grand is what our goal is. So, but you ready to go for a ride?
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
I may turn around and put a Mantic clutch in it, just drop some.
I would say I have a Mantic in my Challenger for that reason, to drop the weight. It's so light.
So the one thing you really need to be concerned about when you do weight reduction, you're thinking you're pulling parts off, and you're losing weight. But if you're replacing them with stuff,
that's right.
Sometimes that stuff is almost as heavy as what
or
you're
more.
pulling, or more.
Well, you know, it's funny if you've ever watched us, especially Brandon. He's obsessive with it. He weighs everything, and he'll literally look at a part and go, "Man, that looks really good, but it weighs too much. I don't want it." And that's exactly it. You know, that's why we weigh everything we take off, and that. I tell you too, man, the front end of these things is as aggressive, and this is my favorite front end. Even the new GT500s, you know, whatever. The GT350s were my favorite front end on these Mustangs.
The GT500s, don't get me wrong, but
no, I do too.
They're slab sided.
Yeah.
So there's the thing that differentiates the GT350.
It goes in with that. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep.
And it has the Coke bottle hips.
Yep. And I love the big hips. On my girls and on my cars.
Exactly. But truthfully, I'd always been an all black guy. Like I was going to do all black wheels, and I've had them. I said, let me do something different.
No. I'm going to be honest with you. I had another friend who has a black car who was going to go bronze wheels. Nate in the E-Ray. Have you seen him on our channel?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So Nate, I told him, I'm like, bro, they're very similar. So I was like, if you go bronze on that E-Ray, it's going to look amazing. And I think that's the color he's going to go in. I hope you see this, Nate, because I'm telling you, bro, you need to go bronze on that. It looks amazing.
And I got the titanium lug nuts.
I saw that.
Now, what I'm going to do is that's a sticker on the brake right there. They're black.
I was going to ask you that.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them. I'm going to try to match them to the caliper to the color of the stripe.
Oh yeah.
But I'm getting a guy to make me Brembo stickers this color, the color of the wheels. Nice.
So you're going to do blue with the bronze sticker. Oh, you got good taste, Reese. You really do, man. All right, YouTube. Well, that's it, man. What a great day today. We got out there. I mean, I wish you guys could experience what this car feels like. You know, again, I know we do a lot of driving footage in my car. We try to help you guys live through us to experience these cars. And that's really what it's about, man, is an experience. And this Shelby is no joke. It is fast. Not only is it fast, but it revs. It sounds great. It handles great. You feel that sports car feel. You feel that suspension when you're out there on the road. And again, I mean, you know, Ford killed this car. This is probably, in my opinion, the best Mustang Ford's built. You know, in the modern era is the GT350s and the GT350Rs. The Boss, you know, 302s in 2012, 2013 were good cars too, but this is just next level stuff, guys. You know, big thanks to Maurice for coming out today. You know, I can't wait to hang out with him and do more stuff with him. He's, you know, kind of part of the crew now, man. So again, guys, thanks again. If you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe. Help us keep growing this channel. Until we get you next time, stay safe.